The Frank Ammon Show. The Frank Ammon Show. Your number one source for entrepreneurs to learn, earn, and create wealth.
A mindset. Comfort is the enemy of success. It is the killer of dreams. You are enough. It's got to include the result you want. The best parts of your life is right on the other side of hard times. When they ask you what do you do for a living, you're going to say, I do whatever it takes. You got to keep going. You got to keep fighting. I'm going to step in my moment. You started from the very beginning saying, hey, let's do this. Only it's going to serve other people well and serve us.
And now, here's your host, Frank Ammons.
What's going on, guys? It's a Thursday, and we are back again with Frank Ammons Show, and I got my co-host, Daniel. He's always ready to roll. What's up?
How's it going, everybody?
Everything good on this Thursday for you?
Yeah, going good for me over here. How about you over there?
Good. If you guys didn't catch the episode yesterday with my man who gave us some PR knowledge, dropping bombs, that was a pretty good episode yesterday. You think we can top that today?
Ron was great, but we got another great guest here today. Mr. Jacob Rick is here with us today. He's got over 24 years experience in sales. He's run his own business. He's just got a lot of great information. So I can't wait for him to get here and share some stuff with the audience.
Yes. And it's going to be awesome. Got a good feeling about it. Anytime a guy looks like a ninja, he should be a ninja when it comes to dropping some bombs and giving us some good information. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to be watching the show, not just because me and Daniel are good looking guys, but because we got some good information we're trying to give to you guys so that you can be successful. That's our whole goal here, is to be successful. And the only way to really be successful is to hear these stories, hear the journeys they've taken, and some of the actual concepts and strategies they're going to give. Because, I mean, there's been some, like yesterday, there was some real live strategy that was shared that if you implement, right, you can see some success. I mean, he was giving some stuff. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, usually I want people to, push the gas more. Mr. Ron Watt was giving like too much. I was like, well, let's pump the brakes, man. We're going to have everybody just trying to be a PR agency.
Yeah, he was giving away a lot of free information yesterday, some stuff that you would normally have to pay big bucks for.
Yeah. So if you guys did not catch that episode, you can catch it, of course, on the replay. But today, let's get it going because we have another one. I have a good feeling about this one. Woo! Maybe it's just because the pizza I ate was good, but I think it's because the guest is going to be better, right? What do you think?
I think it's going to be great today. We got some good information coming. I can feel it.
So without further ado, let's bring on our guest today, Mr. Rick.
Hey,
Mr. Rick.
Oh, it's a wonderful Thursday.
Are you going by Jacob or Jake, or what was the theme there?
Well, as I told the group of people I've been helping for a while now, Jacob is my business name, but my friends, family, they call me Jake. So as it sits, feel free to call me Jake.
Okay. Yeah, man. Well, welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on board with us, man, and having you to share your great knowledge. We have met Jacob many times in the Entrepreneur Journey Connect on Fridays, and he's dropped bombs in there. So I'm hoping you can reload and drop some more today for the audience. And I put in the tagline, let's talk about copywriting, which I know is one of the major things you do, but you do other things. Tell us what you do and kind of give us a summary of that, and we'll get started into your story.
Sounds good. So actually, copywriting is one of the few things I do. In fact, I've actually got a client right now I'm working with. That's a good name, good company. We're doing mergers and acquisitions, and that's where I'm really running it. But copywriting has been one thing I've liked my entire life because it's literally writing. I love books. I love reading, and just turning that into the fun part of writing just goes hand in hand. As well as I do closing. I've been in sales for 20 plus years, 25 plus years now, actually. God, I forget how old I am sometimes. But yeah, 25 plus years in various things, everything from running my own business to at one point in time, I actually worked in a carnival for 2 years. So trying to get people to come in, play the games and rides, as well as something I just did recently is I've made a business up and running, but I do consultation. a lot of the times I spent on the backside to learn myself is one of my favorite parables. The best teachers are students, and the best students are teachers. So everything I've learned, I help others learn, and then I learn from them as they tell me what they need to learn and what they've learned along the way. So I close, I teach, I consult. I help people get better and do as much as they possibly can.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I forgot to unmute my mic there. So the best let's go back. For those who ride the short bus, sometimes I do. But let's go back. You said the best students are teachers and the teachers are the best students. How did you say that again?
The best students are teachers and the best teachers are students.
The best students are teachers and the best teachers are students. That is so true. And I think I've said some version of that before. You said it much more sexier than I did, but that was great. Like, where'd you get that from again?
Honestly, I wish I could remember exactly where I got it from, but it was actually from a movie.
Okay. Awesome. So let's talk about real quick, if we can, Jacob. You've been in the game for a while, as you pointed out, and you're like me. When you get to a certain age, you don't even want to count, much less remember how long you've been doing it. I actually, someone was asking me the other day, how long you've been doing marketing, and I had to count, which I didn't want to do, and I don't count very well, anyways. And then I realized I've been doing it for 20 years because everything I've ever done had some kind of marketing role. And I've been doing it for 20 years, and I'm like, that means I'm old. Okay.
Right.
Not only is my hair starting to get thinner and thinner, and my other things I ain't going to talk about here, but like I had to count. So, anyways, how did you get started? What's your story? What got you into the game you're in now?
Well, it's a long story, and if anybody ever visits my website, which you can find it linked through Frank and stuff like that, but it gives a really in-depth story of where it got me. But what really started this entire journey is when I was a kid, I was ostracized from society. It's a really strange thing. I'm a twin as well. My brother was a socialite, and I wasn't exactly the big social person. He was. So I was kind of ostracized from society. I got to watch people, and it turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. Well, fast forward to my early 20s, I realized I have to stop watching people. I have to actually work with people.
Right.
And that got me into sales. The best way to learn about people and use everything I had is to start doing sales. Plus, it's the easiest job to get into when you're young.
Yeah.
Whether you be a cashier, you work at AT&T, anything like that, you go do sales. That's where it got me, is starting with sales in that aspect.
Well, before you go on, I want to ask something about that. Yeah. What was one of the, being that you were an introvert and you were more to yourself, and then you went into this realm of having not to be an introvert and you had to be an outrovert or whatever the
extrovert, yeah.
Extrovert, there it is. Opposite is. What was one of the biggest challenges you faced? I mean, what you face that was really uncomfortable for you in the beginning to get there?
It's actually something that most closers, salespeople, copywriters, people in general still suffer from today. Even at this age, some people still suffer from, and that's fear of judgment.
Yeah.
How are people going to react to me? How are they going to see me? Was I going to say the right thing, the wrong thing? How are they going to take me? I was fear of being judged.
How'd you overcome it?
It wasn't until I ran into a good friend of mine at the time. We're no longer talking because our lives went separate journeys, but his name was Rob, and he became my friend. He was an extrovert, and he brought me into his world. And what I found is that people didn't really care all that much about who you are, as long as you just paid attention to them and what they were wanting to portray. And goes into the next best lesson for sales is listen with intent. Stop worrying about how they're going to view you and start understanding them.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I learned. And so it helped me get over it.
Yeah. You know, I've always thought it would be awesome to have a whole room full of introverts, and I get to talk with them for, just maybe 10, 20 minutes. And I honestly believe with confidence that by the time they're done talking with me, they're all going to be extroverts. And here's why. Because I'm going to have them all go over and stick their finger in a light socket. And we're going to find out all the things they've ever wanted to really say real quick.
That would really do it. Yeah.
Anyways, so your story started in sales. You went from being more to yourself to now you're working with people. You realized that there was value in that. Where'd you go from there?
Well, from there, we actually had to fast forward a number of years because I did a lot of traveling. And what I did with traveling and I learned is actually between the ages of 18 and 22, 23, something like that, I actually traveled to 5 different countries. And what I learned with that is society, the world, culture is what I picked up on that. What I didn't get to do as a kid as much. I mean, I was lucky my parents traveled, but it was the US. So not a whole lot of variety in that fashion. But I got to go to South America. I got to see what poverty looks like. I went to Spain. I got to see what that culture was like. Cuba, Jamaica, all of these places. It was great. And that helped me see how much the world needs people to communicate, to talk, to get together. And that brought me to my next one, which is, what can I bring to the people around me? What can I bring to the world around me? And what that was is to help them understand the same thing I did, of how to connect from being that introvert to becoming more of an ambivert, as it were, an introvert-extrovert combination, which journeyed back to my years of being a business owner. So after traveling, I came back, I got with a bunch of buddies, and we said, hey, let's open up our own store. And that created the aspect of what's called Gamers Haven. The business is no longer up and running, but it was a game store.
Okay.
One of my fun ones is I'm a gamer through and through. Can't see it very well in the camera right now, but surrounding my entire room right here in my office, I've got about 70 board games.
Oh, wow.
And me and my kids, we do that every weekend. But we turned this passion of gaming into a business.
So you're not talking about video games, you're talking about board games.
Board games. Because the idea was, like I said, what can we bring to people? Board games were going out because video games were coming in. So we created an entire genre of board game people to get community, to bring it back together, to bring families, people, culture back together.
Right. Awesome thing. That's an awesome thing. Now, let's jump a little further. We can. I don't know how further we're jumping, but what got you into this world of copywriting?
That was actually a fun one. I went through a training course for sales because I wanted to improve my sales, keep up with today's market. In fact, I would be looking at another course shortly for doing that again. But one thing that the mentor that I was with mentioned was copywriting and sales go hand in hand. If you can talk to someone and get them to listen to you, you should be able to do the same thing with your writing, with your words. And if you can get people to listen to your words, you can get them onto a phone to talk to you. So they go hand in hand. So he introduced me to one of his mentors that helped him with copywriting, and I followed it through from there. And from there, I realized I really missed writing. So I took my love of words and turned it into a business.
So you have a passion to write?
Yep. Well, it's a passion to write, and also it's a rather fond memory of my parents and what they did for, albeit punishment, but what they did to teach me. When I was a kid, one of my punishments was to write out the dictionary and thesaurus word for word, letter for letter. But that taught me the power of words, even back then. So I love words. They have so much power.
Let's dive into copywriting a little bit. Let's give the audience some good, tangible takeaways. Copywriting. Yes. What is the most use case for copywriting today in the world we live in?
The most use case for copywriting nowadays is the fact that in today's genre, today's generation, everything's about texting.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their phone and they're reading what's on their phone. That is copywriting. Direct messaging through that. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of these things, it's all text-based. It is all copywriting, the words you use. So it has the largest audience outreach possible at this point in time in the market. And that's why it's so prevalent, why everybody should have at least a little bit of knowledge on how copywriting works.
Yeah. What can you name a few examples maybe, or maybe you've personally experienced where copywriting wasn't well done or not thought through and it had a negative effect?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, it happens to me all the time now. And because of how many people are out there realizing that this is the case, you get people and they do your basic old-fashioned sales pitch right through a message. The first thing you hear is, hey, I saw you're doing X, Y, and Z. I can help you out with that. Come check out my program. Come check out my sales pitch. Come check out this, come check out that. And they don't actually understand who you are. They just tell you, go do this.
So let's break that down. What would you have done different?
The first thing you need to do is you need to understand who you're talking to. Before you even send your first message, you need to know who is your market. Who are you talking to? All right. We'll take you as an example. Okay. You're reaching out right now, and I just saw it earlier today. You were talking about real estate and this group that you have up there for real estate. your target and the way you did this, although it was a video advertisement, you can use the words you had as the same concept. When you pop out there and you send a message to someone, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look to see, are they into real estate?
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people nowadays, they just go, I'm going to find 30 people and just spam these messages out to them. And that's where spam comes in. So that's the biggest problem, is they spam.
So first thing is understanding your audience specifically.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And would you say more specific is better? Or there's like a kind of a, you don't have to get too crazy with it, or what do you
you don't have to get too crazy with it when you start, but as you grow your market, as you grow it, you're going to, and these are common terms in the business world, you want to understand your demographic and your client avatar. Now, they're two separate things, although they're mixed together, and I'm sure it's been mentioned before, but I'll go over it again. Your demographic is a broad range of who you want to target. Okay, what age range are they in? So like between 13 and 21 or 30 and 50. What is your range for that one? Male, female, Latino, Asian. Whom are you targeting? It's a broad demographic.
Yeah.
And then you want to get more specific. From there, you can get more specific as you work on your ads to target that. So if you're targeting, say, 13 to 20-year-olds, okay, you're going to figure out how they communicate, where they hang out. So you're going to target it to that one and use their lingo.
Gotcha. Now, would you recommend when targeting that you have to pick, male over female or vice versa, or can you do both?
You can do both, although a lot of stuff comes down to product placement.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be really weird if you have feminine products and trying to cater to the guys. May not work out just as well, but you never know.
Yeah. So you can do both. You don't have to do guys over girls or girls over the guys, but you can do both. So the first step out of the gate is understand your target, be specific of your target. And then what's the second step?
Second step, and it's a phrase I learned from my mom. Talk to the people. When you write your message, pretend you're sitting across the table from the person you want to talk to. Pretend you're sitting across the table from that target audience and talk to them as if you're face to face with them. Every message I write, I'm sitting here and it's like I'm looking at you guys and I type that message out. How would I have that conversation? A lot of copywriters that I see, they're talking too broad. They're talking too open to this one. They don't talk to a person. They talk to a demographic. And this is one of the biggest things miss out on. Because when you talk to
you're suggesting talk to one of the audience members, or as if you're talking to one of the audience members instead of just even the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then it's personal.
Got you.
Okay.
That's a good tip.
And the other side of this too, the next step of it is to try more than once. Okay. One of the biggest keys, especially with copywriting and marketing in general, is have multiple avenues to go. Wow, I just totally forgot the word. But basically, you're going to have split testing. That's the word. You're going to split test. Have 1, 2, or 3 different things you can send people. Sometimes you find that a headline works better to grab attention, but the body of the message doesn't really get read too much. So you can mix and match and see what works best to talk to your people. Try more than one thing. Don't get stuck on one single thing.
Can you still use headlines like in social media posts?
Yeah. Now, some places make it easier, some are harder. Facebook, you can play around with it and you can highlight certain words and stuff like that when you start a post. That's your headline. It's the thing that'll stand out the most to people. When you send a message to, like, say, through text message on your phone, put quotations, put some sort of emoji on the front and back of that one, and it stands out as the headline. You can showcase a single phrase in multiple different ways to make that your headline. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's keep going into the framework of a good copywriting. What else is in there in that ingredients that you want to make sure to include?
It's kind of funny you asked that because I actually put this together right before we hopped on the call because I thought of that.
Come on, man, you ready to go?
I'm trying. As I put it there to a lot of people that I train on this, especially when it comes to outreach for the first time, it's the initial engagement. And this is probably the most important part, is your initial engagement. And what I found is there are 5 steps to create an engaging invite to conversation.
Come on. Hold on. Let me grab my pen so I can write this down.
Absolutely. So the 5 steps are actually very simple when you hear them, but to put them into use, this takes practice. So the number 1 is a unique introduction. Now, this stands out because I'm not sure how many times you get messages, but I know I do, where the first thing I see is greetings, hi, hello, and then my name. There's nothing to it. It's like I'm walking down the street and somebody goes, hey, Jake. That's all this message sounds like. It doesn't stand out. It's not unique. But then you take a look at some of these messages and you have it, and they go, hey, my name's so-and-so, and I was really interested in what you wrote. Boom. Now that's an introduction, and it catches your interest because it's talking about you.
Connecting to something that's real that okay, I got you. All right. Keep going.
And for me, one of my favorite ones is using words and phrases that aren't common in today's era. My favorite greeting is greetings and well met. It's a phrase that's not used often in today's society.
So that's an actual phrase response.
Yes. Greetings and well met.
So if I say, how are you doing? You'd say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
So unique introduction that grabs their attention, gets them to want to see what the next sentence is. And that's one of the big things is every sentence you do needs to draw them into the next sentence. So number 2.
Hey, can I ask a question real quick?
Oh, please.
I'm sorry. I'm interrupting your flow, but it's a funny thing. But I I have a unique father-in-law. Okay, let's just put it like this.
Okay.
Let's put it like this. He claims to be a mayor of a city that's not really a city, and he's not really the mayor of, but he still claims it as if he's been the mayor. And if he's watching, which I seriously doubt, because he calls cell phones the devil box. But and he calls it, I won't even say what he calls Facebook. But anyway, so I doubt he's watching this. So I think I'm good. I think I'll still be invited to Thanksgiving. But he had a saying the other day, and I've been using it in my response to when people say, hey, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. And so the response has been, hey, I'm doing so well that I got to sit on both of my hands, keep from clapping to death because I'm so excited. How about that?
Nice. I like that. That's good. That really catches their interest. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's worked really well so far. So thank you, Mayor of Turkey Creek. Keep going. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. Actually, you brought up a fun story of mine to show you why these unique introductions are so much fun. Okay. Right now, I'm business attire. Now, when I was younger, I was more into the alternative lifestyle. So I was wearing the long coats and stuff like that. In fact, I still have my long hair. It's a family tradition. I remember when I first moved to where I live now, I had an old guy look at me and he just gave me the once over. And he asked the most common question: why do you dress like that? Now, for me, I love being quick-witted. I've got a bit of sarcasm in my life. So I looked at him with a smile on my face. I said, because it keeps the strange people away.
Yeah.
It blew his mind. But it's that type of thing that catches people's interest when you say something out of sorts. Now, what this also is termed in marketing and stuff like that is a pattern interrupt. That's kind
of pattern interrupt. I like that. Can you explain what a pattern interrupt is? I know that was an example one, but explain to the audience. By the way, guys, if you have questions about this, because this is good. I already can tell you we're still on 1.1, but this is good. If you got questions, guys, put it in the comments. And tell us, Jacob, if you can, what a pattern interrupt is.
Pattern interrupt, for the most basic explanation, is it breaks people out of their train of thought. All right. When you're in a conversation with people, it generally goes through a series of steps, which I won't get into at the moment. We'll stick with the most important one, and it is people are logical.
Okay.
They're trying to analyze, deduce, and understand what it is you're trying to do, how you're going to get there, so they can make the most educated decision and step for the conversation. You say something completely out of sorts, and it breaks them out of that. And now you can pull them into whatever direction you want to.
So the first step could be and should be a pattern interrupt. Am I understanding that right?
It's something, yes. You want them to stop being in their head, and you want them to be engaged with you. Because if they're in their head.
So this is us reaching out to someone and connecting in our introduction, a unique introduction, as you say.
Yep.
Now, do we use the pattern interrupt in the unique introduction or the second step?
Either or, honestly.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but yeah, it just breaks them out of their train of thought so they're engaged with you. And that's what our focus is, get them engaged.
Gotcha.
So now moving on to number 2. And this is, again, very important, but why are you interested? Okay, you talked a moment ago about bringing that connection, the relevance in what you're stating, bring that connection. And this is where this is very important. Why are you interested? Why am I reaching out to you in the first place? Why did I want to talk to you? Why am I interested? And once you get that done, it lets them understand what this conversation is about, what it is for.
So after you do one, and then number 2 is state in there briefly, I would suggest or think.
Briefly, it's just a small little snippet.
So why are you reaching out, basically, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So to put this into context, if I were to message you, not knowing you, it's like, Greetings and well met, Frank. Real quick, I want to let you know I'm really interested in your podcast. It was amazing. I'd like to learn more about real estate.
Okay.
Boom. Step 1, step 2, right there.
Now, should it be, in your opinion, a question, or should it be a statement of saying what you're interested in? What do you think?
This is more of a
both, right?
Right. It can be both, but it's more often than not is going to be a statement.
Okay.
If you can turn it into a question, great. It creates
It
more
doesn't
engagement.
have to be a question.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that one there, why are you interested? Next one, what does it mean to you? All right, now this is a part that a lot of people gloss over. And the reason why I found that this is very important is when they understand what it means to you, he understands why you're invested in this. Okay. So real estate, simple thing I could talk into is I've got a house. I don't know how to do anything with it, what to do with it, because I'm moving soon. Can you help me learn how to flip it?
Right.
This is why I'm interested. This is what it means to me. My house has having to go up. There's a gentleman I talked to. I was consulting with him, and he was talking about physical fitness. And I laugh because you're two guys you talked to the other day about physical fitness, bringing this up too. But I told him this aspect. What does it mean to you? And the story I used is actually about my dad. So if I were to talk to a physical fitness guy, my reason why I would be so interested in working with them or knowing more about them is I watched my dad almost die when I was 14 years old due to asthma. And I swore to myself I would never let that happen to me. So I got into physical fitness, and I'm proud to say at 42 years old, I have not had an asthmatic episode since. This is what physical fitness means to me.
Gotcha.
And that's how I portray it.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're reaching out to someone, unique introduction.
Yep.
And why are you reaching out? Maybe in the form of a question or a statement.
Yep.
And then the third one is, what does it mean to you? What would be an example of doing that or including that?
Again, we'll go back to dealing with you as the example. So again, greetings and well met, Frank. I'm really impressed, and I loved what I saw on your podcast. I see that you're dealing in real estate. I just watched my dad sell his house, and he got screwed on the deal. I mean, I found out what the house was really worth, and he did. And I want to make sure that this never happens again, because I've got friends that are in the same boat. Can you help me make sure this never happens again to people I know?
Gotcha. All right. So that would be an example of that. Now, before we get into the last two, or the most important last two of your list of the ingredients of what do you call this?
An engaging invite.
Engaging invite to copyright. We're going to play this promo. Guys, this is great stuff. If you need to know how to write copy and be able to get more of results out of your copy when you're reaching out, like Jacob was suggesting, when you're putting an ad together, when you're even making a post, when you're doing a video, right? Mm-hmm. So when you do that, this is the stuff you're going to need to know. This is like gold. He probably charges a lot of money for this. We're going to find out right after this promo. Watch this, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, I want to tell you about Impactpreneurs. Impactpreneurs is something I'm excited to share with you guys about. And basically what Impactpreneurs is purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are dedicated to creating successful businesses, products, and services, producing results that offer a life-changing impact on people so they can uplift communities and even change the world to be more like our Creator intended it to be. Impactpreneurs, guys. If you're an entrepreneur who has a passion, has a purpose-driven, service, product, or business, and yes, you make great income, but you also make great impact or want to make great impact, I want you to consider joining our free Facebook group called Impactpreneurs. Impactpreneurs is something that's going to change the face of entrepreneurship for the better, so more people are making more impact with their businesses, products, and services. Love to see you there. Hope to see you there. Don't forget to join Impactpreneurs. All right, guys, so we're back, and we are with Jacob Rick. He is an expert in copywriting and many other things, including being a ninja, as we already have described earlier. And so he was getting into his 5 ingredients of what makes copywriting great and good and effective. And so we went over the first 3. Now we're about to go to the last 2. So keep going, my man. Share with us the nuggets of the last 2 things.
Well, before I jump into that, I had a thought while we were on pause there.
Okay.
You asked me a question earlier, what got me into copywriting, and something I remembered. I ran a business for 11 years. I mentioned that earlier in the show. One thing that stood out to me afterwards when I started looking into copywriting and business even more afterwards was the fact that even though we had a good business for 11 years, one thing we were missing was that engagement. And we were missing that copywriting tidbit. So even though you have a good business going on, even though you could be doing wonders, having that little bit more knowledge, having that little bit more to show you how to get that engagement with copywriting can really blow your business to the next level.
Yes, I agree. Definitely.
So number 4. Now, you're going to hear this everywhere, and I have to comment on this one every time because it's absolutely essential. Add value. All right. It's a simple phrase, but the impact is tremendous. If all I'm doing, and this is where, again, you asked earlier, what's the problem I see in most of these posts, is nobody adds value. It's always take. Go check out my site. Go see what I have to buy. Go see what I've got to do. Me. But when you turn around and say, hey, I've got something I can do for you for nothing in return, you're just adding that value. It shows them that you're not a taker. You're a team player. You're somebody that they can create a relationship with, referrals, whatever it may be. Add value.
Right. And you recommend actually adding value in the copy.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Simplest one. And I see it everywhere. In fact, there's Tumblr posts and even Reddit posts where people pick on some stuff like this. But even as much as saying, hey, you know what? I can get you referrals. I can tell people about you. That little bit right there is still adding value.
Okay.
There are a lot of ways to add value. I could probably go on for another 20 minutes for ways of adding value, but I'll save that for another day. But big things I will state is, remember, letting them know the impact that their company has on the world around you, letting them know you can help them generate more leads, letting them know the impact it had on you, and or showing them how to improve themselves for free are always adding value that all business owners need.
So all the things you've given us so far have been about specifics for the person that you're contacting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, knowing that person, contacting them, specifically mentioning things that are relevant to them. This added value, that also, I would imagine, needs to be something that's targeted specifically for your customer that you're reaching out to, not just generic value that would be for, you know, another target demographic.
Correct. Most of them are going to be target specific, but there are certain aspects of adding value that are generic across the board. Again, referrals. It's generic across the board, but it's impactful for every business. But
well, that would be where what you suggested in the beginning, you know, ask, you know, send out and see what people's response are, because they're going to validate that value, whether it's any real value or not. So
correct.
That would be very crucial. So that's a good point, Daniel, is make sure that the value that you're putting in your copy is going to be actual value.
Yeah, absolutely. So last and final piece, and this is another one where people gloss over it, but is what's called a call to action. It is asking them to take action, to follow up, follow through, or do something after this message is sent. If you're looking to do an invite, let's say you're just trying to get people to follow you because you're trying to get your page going further, you're trying to increase your network, let them know, hey, follow my page, give me a call, respond to this message, something that simple. If it's business, check out our website, check out our blog, or even as simple as give me a call, it's free. I know, Frank, you've said that a number of times yourself. That's a call to action. People gloss over it.
Yeah.
Get that call to action in there.
Now, would you say,
go ahead, Daniel.
Would you say that one of the problems that you see in people's copy is they skip over all the stuff in the middle? They have a mild introduction, and then they go straight to the call to action.
Exactly.
They kind of skip over all this, building that they need to do to get the response they really want.
Exactly. The middle piece, it's kind of like an Oreo cookie. You got the unique introduction and call to action on the top. Those are the wafers, and that wonderful creamy center. That's what they keep missing out on.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, I want you to evaluate this plug. We were going to have to play it anyway, so I want you to evaluate it for us. Give us a real live review, and I don't care. I'll put myself on blast here. This next little promo, guys, take a look.
If you're ready to take your business to the next level, increase your revenue, and get more clients, go to frankammons.com and book a game-changing call with Frank himself today. What are you waiting for? Go to frankammons.com. The next level awaits you.
So there you have it.
All right.
This is a Simon Cowell moment. Here we go.
Right. So it's not bad. All right.
Okay.
I mean, as with everything,
Because I paid a lot of money for it.
as with everything, there can always be little tweaks here and there. So
Okay.
the only thing that was missing in that one that could stand out is, what does it mean to you? Why do you want to provide this value? Why do you want to do this for people?
Okay.
I mean, just that quick little snippet, you had it. You got a unique introduction. Aside from the wonderful music in the background, you got a unique introduction. Why are you interested? You're interested because you want to help people grow. That's
Right.
stated in there as the purpose. Your call to action, well, you had like 3 of them in there. So you're covered. The only thing you're missing is, what does it mean to you?
Got you.
Why are you so interested in helping out these people?
Got you. So that is great feedback, man. I appreciate you doing that. And so let's go over the 5 things again, so everybody can kind of grab that. If you did not write those things down, check your pulse. All right. Because if you're a business person, you're an entrepreneur, you need this, right? And even if you're not doing this directly for your business, you need to know if someone else is doing it, you can look at what they're doing, their work, and see if they're actually doing it using these ingredients, so you can see if you're actually paying for good service or not, right? So either way, you should know this to this extent. So number 1, unique introduction, right? So when it comes to creating copy, introducing yourself, and reaching out to someone, even if it's in a Facebook DM or Instagram DM, even if it's a text message, this is what you recommend, Jacob, is a unique introduction. Number 2 is what you suggested is possibly a pattern interrupt of why you are, a pattern interrupt, and then why you are reaching out, right?
Why are you
Okay.
interested?
Yeah. And then number 3, what does it mean to you? Which is what you just suggested I should put in my little plug there. What does it mean to you for what you're asking or requesting or reaching out for? And then number 4, add value, like literally in that, outreach or that copy, if you will, add real value. And you said it could be as simple as, I'll help you with X, Y, or Z, or I'll help you with X, right?
Yep.
And then number 5 is a call to action. CTA, baby. What's up? You
CTA.
got to have the call to action in there. So did I cover all those? Did I get
That is correct. That is everything. Yep.
Guys, you guys got to write that down. If you're not in the comments asking more questions, this is your time. All right. This is your time. All right. So Daniel got a couple questions. If you want, go ahead and throw them out there. But if you got questions, put them in the comments. We'd love to hear back. Jacob would love to hear back, and he's here to answer your questions, especially
Grill
about
me.
copywriting and all that good stuff. So go for it, Daniel.
Yeah. So, when you hear the word copywriting and you're not in that field, you don't think you're in that field, right?
Right.
It seems like it's this kind of far away thing that other people do this, but I don't do this.
Mhm.
So I know you've kind of broken it down a little bit already, but take it down to the very bottom for somebody that's, just trying to get started. They're trying to get their business off the ground, and tell them how and why this is something that they really need to focus on. You already gave us all the points and the benefits and everything, but kind of bring it back down to that lowest level for us.
Copywriting is using words instead of phone to talk to the people you want to help, the people you want to bring your services to. So copywriting is talking through written word. It's the biggest and most important thing, is to get them to know who you are, what you do, and why you do it. If they don't know that, how are we going to get clients?
Right.
Plain and simple.
So you had mentioned before that you had some other things that you wanted to bring to the table today beyond copywriting. So why don't you share those things with the audience, the other things that you're working on right now?
Absolutely. So the biggest one is consultation. Now, we've had this entire call and we've been talking about copywriting. In order to get even more and understand even more about this, sometimes it's beneficial to talk to the person at hand. I mean, if you want to learn more about what I know and how you can get to this level and learn more about this and even find more beyond what I know, have a talk with me, and that's consultation. Now, unfortunately, I can't do all of this for free. I do have a livelihood to take care of, so I do charge for consultation, but I can direct you to the right place. Sometimes I'm not the right person. I'll tell you this right now. I saw in one of your other videos, you'd asked what makes people different. And what makes me different as a consultant and even as a person you can talk to is honesty. I have no problem telling people I don't know. I've got dozens of testimonials and recommendations. And the big thing that people tell me is I'm a go-giver. I give more than I take. I will take the time to understand who you are. I have empathy. I have all these things. And looking back, that's what I hear all the time. But it's also what I put into my copywriting and my consultation. I'm here for you. I'm not here for me, but I do have a livelihood. So if you want to know more, come talk to me. It's a website called 3C's Success. And I don't charge a lot, but come check it out. I will help you with that. I also know closing. Like I said, I've been in sales for 20 plus years. I have a lot of life experience. And one of the things that I'd say a dozen or so people have commented on just in the past month is you don't have to talk to me about business. If you're stuck in life, if you're stuck somewhere, let me know. I can help you out. It's private. It's confidential. None of this goes out there. I'm here to help you.
Yeah,
so we got a Facebook comment.
Yeah, well, go ahead. You got it.
So while you were giving your example, we have a Facebook comment. Frank just threw it up on the screen, and it says, regarding the wording of things, an Oreo cookie example, how would one know what kind of words to use in that filling? And depending on the person, is it better to use simpler or more intricate wording?
That's a wonderful question. So
who is that? That's a deep question. I mean, I thought we got some smart people watching this. I'm feeling proud, man. Daniel, I think we need to get a sponsor, especially Oreo cookies.
All right.
All right, Nabisco, if you're out there watching, you can sponsor the podcast.
Yeah, come on.
So what kind of words to use in that filling? And really, there's one simple rule for that. Truth. Use the truth. If you're reaching out to these people, if you're reaching out to the clients, to businesses, to stuff like that, there is a real reason you're doing it. Be honest, be truthful when you're filling in those words. As for what type of words to use, simpler or more intricate, that's all business acumen. And what that means is, whom are you talking to? If I'm talking to a Fortune 500 CEO, I'm going to use a bit higher business acumen because that's what they're used to. Whereas I'm talking to a startup company, they're not there yet. So I'll use words that do that. So yes, use words that cater, again, to whom you're talking to and that genre. Same concept. If I'm talking to a fitness coach, I'll use the words for fitness coach. If I'm talking to an IT expert, I'll use IT terminology. But be truthful, be honest. That's the thing.
Basically, like you were saying before, it's using words that are targeted to the person that you're trying to get information from. So
exactly.
Yeah. And guys, we love your comments, by the way, and don't forget to click on the StreamYard.com/Facebook so you can give Facebook permission to show your pretty face, or at least your icon. Now, if you want to stay anonymous, that's fine. But we would love to see who you are instead of calling you Facebook user. We can actually call you by your name. So use that little link there because we would love to know who you are. But leave a comment regardless of any questions you have. This is the time to get him in because my man has got some great expertise. If you can't already tell, he has already went over 5 of the main ingredients of what makes your copy actually sell, if you will, right? I'm coming up with all kinds of different titles every time I mention it. But Daniel, go ahead and keep on asking your questions.
Yeah. So, with all these other things that you're doing, right? You're basically just coaching people. You're coaching business owners, entrepreneurs, people that just need help figuring things out, whether it is copywriting. It's like, how long has it been that you've been, kind of broadening your aspect to just kind of helping people in general?
For as long as I can remember. One of the things is I love to teach. Okay. Even prior to getting into being a freelancer as a closer, salesperson, even before doing that, I worked at Walmart for a long time. And every customer I would talk to would always ask me, why do you do this? Why do you go so far to help people out? And Sam Walton's rule number 1, customer service, help the customer. Well, change the word customer to client, change the word client to person. I'm not here just to help a customer. I'm not here to just help a client. I'm here to help a person in teaching teaching is the most rewarding feeling that I've ever had. So as long as I can remember, I've been trying to teach people, pass on that knowledge. Now I can do it at a new level, at a new venue.
That's great.
And
go ahead.
If I can comment one more thing, I don't use the word coach for myself. And it's not because it's a bad term, but it's because for coaches, I've always felt that it's for a specific field. Whereas for me, it's a consultant because I do a broad variety of things. I'm not focused on an individual.
Awesome. I had a thought, then it was gone.
Sorry.
Don't you love how that goes? Frank, did you have something? You just popped back in here.
Yeah, I was just coming back in there and saying, guys, thank you again for the comments and all the likes and all that good stuff. We are coming up in the game, and we're getting some likes now, and everybody are paying attention. But listen, while you guys are thinking about it, I'm just going to do a little live plug here. If you want to come on and you're an entrepreneur and you have a business or a service or a product, we would love to have you on. Go to the website, frankammons.com, so we can get you scheduled today. Reach out to Daniel, reach out to myself. We'll get you on the schedule. Jacob Rick has been awesome so far, and we know he's got some more stuff. We got you so a couple more minutes, I hope. What else do you want to share with us? I mean, you mentioned, do you have a website, by the way, that we can plug in the comments?
Yeah, it's 3C Success.
Is it spelled just like it sounds?
It sounds just like it sounds. Yeah.
3 C's of success?
No, 3 C's Success.
Got you. So it'd be the number 3 or spelled out?
I just posted it for you.
All right, there you go. Awesome. We'll go ahead and get that out there for you guys so you can find Jacob Rick. And you are offering your services when it comes to copywriting. You work with companies that need copywriting and use your services. How can someone actually, how does that work? Is it by hour or by project? How do you do your service?
It depends on what it is they're looking for. I've done a number of different projects, and it's everything from commission-based to price per word based. It depends on what you're looking for. And I do my prices based off what's going to get the best ROI for both of us. Now, in that particular aspect, I've worked with a startup company. They don't have a whole lot of money, so I charge them a couple $100 to help them out because they need that revenue to grow the business. I worked with a company that had a $40,000 lead or $40,000 person lead list, and I charged them commission based because it was a small tier product, and it earned both of us quite a bit of an ROI. Or I do it based off of a salary base, which I do for one company, where I base it off of, I put out a product, they pay me X amount of money. I will cater to what you need to make your business grow.
Yeah. You got any
awesome you have that flexibility.
Yeah.
I was a business owner. I know what it's like.
Yeah. That is awesome because you're able to work with all kinds of different people and you know, you can help some people really arrive at success, and then hopefully they remember you offering the service in the beginning, and they take you along with them and pay you more because you help them make more money, right?
Absolutely.
I love the fact that you have that, you know, that flexibility, like Daniel says, because you're willing to even take a cut of the commission because that's how much you believe in your service, because you know you'll deliver, you know, people converting from the copy that you're helping. Now, is your service more of a done for you service or more of a done or do it with you service?
It's a do it with you in the beginning because actually, I remember we were talking on Entrepreneur Connect with Doug, and I made the one comment. I need to work with you, especially in the beginning, because I need to know your voice.
Yeah.
All right. If I'm going to write copy, I'm going to write it from me unless I know who you are. So I need to work with you. I need to see your goals, your dreams, your vision, why you're doing what you're doing, so I can talk in your voice. Because this message isn't from me, it's from your company. It's from you as a person. So I need to know your voice. So yeah, it's a done with you service, but I come to you with the final product and say, what do you think? And we toss it up.
Yeah. Awesome. Daniel, we're going to have to get with Jacob on some of the stuff, man. We got so many different offers, man. We need to improve so we can get higher conversions. We have a lot of things going on. Did you come up with a question again?
Another question for you, man. So going back to one of the things you talked about in one of those Entrepreneur Connects with Doug, you had talked a lot about using LinkedIn and reaching out to clients on LinkedIn. So in the last couple minutes here that we have, maybe you can give us some key takeaways on how to use LinkedIn to the advantage of our businesses.
Well, two things on that. First one is anybody who's listening to the podcast or runs across this, watch on Doug's post, because tomorrow I'm actually going to be on Entrepreneur Connect, and I'll be actually doing a full listing of this one. I already told Doug I was going to do it next week or this week. So hop in, check it out, or watch the recording. As for a quick snippet on this one, again, research. I will always promote this one. Do your research. So as an example, when I first started with copywriting, I went with what I knew best. I'm a tech geek. So I looked up people in the IT fields. I looked up people who do IT services. I looked up software providers. I looked up AI chatbot producers and stuff like that. And what I did is, using LinkedIn's built-in algorithm, you look up those particular people and you just constantly follow them and connect with them, comment on their posts. And the moment you see engagement, send them an invite to connect with you. People are afraid to do this. I've seen this too many times. They're afraid to say, let's connect, because they're afraid to be spammy. But if you follow these 5 steps, you're real. It's all truth. So you're not connecting because you're spammy. You're connecting because there is a reason to do so. So know your keywords when you do this. So if you're going real estate, you're going to type in real estate, and you're either going to type in CEO, founder, agent, or solopreneur, whatever it may be, but you choose who you want to talk to, and now you have your audience. Now you can find who you want to talk to. Use that algorithm. Again, I could get into this a lot more, but come watch Doug's show. You'll get the rest of the details there.
We have another question. It's not in the actual chat, but it's on one of the posts, and it is from my beautiful wife. She says, what is your best recommendations if you're not a great writer when you want to use copywriting?
Very good question. I love that one. There are 2 very wonderful free programs. They're on the internet. You can get them at any point in time. The first one is Grammarly. I recommend this to anyone, especially if you're not a native American or English writer. It does a lot of work for you on that. It'll tell you when you're using too many words, it sounds too wordy. It'll help you get your spelling, and it even helps with punctuation. So wonderful tool in that one.
I know they have a free version. Are you talking about the free version or the
free version? Free version. Okay. And the next one is Hemingway. There's a website you can go to called Hemingway. And all you do is you take what you've written, toss it in there, copy paste it, and it will break it down on how to make it more readable, more user-friendly, and more engaging with your clients. And again, it's free. You literally just copy paste. It'll do it all for you right then and there. They offer donations.
I promise you, Daniel, the next show we will have a button that I push that says bombs are being dropped. Because
we need that.
Yeah, we got to have that, because guys, I don't know if y'all are paying attention here, but that's $1 million worth of value there. Because let me tell you, and I know that sounds very, very, what's the word? When you talk crazy,
cliche.
Like that, sensational, or whatever you want to call it. But my point to you is, if you can get a good copy put together, and you already have a good product and you have a good offer, I'm telling you, it is the world of difference getting people to convert, getting people to say yes, getting people to even pull out their credit cards and write you checks. All right. This is the difference. So when he tells you that there is 2 free tools out there, that if you struggle like me, who can't even hardly spell my own name, much as anything else, that you can go and get and use today, that are not only just there, but are free, you all need to listen, because this is going to be the game changer to your business. Matter of fact, I'm just going to say this real quick, and this is kind of it's connected, but it's a little off. And most people are not even making enough offers, much as the right offers, right? They're not offering enough opportunities to connect. And I'm not just talking about sales opportunities. I'm talking about connecting. I'm talking about, getting people to, help them with the value that you can add. You're not making enough offers, number one. And number 2, when you do, the offers are weak. They're watered down. They sound like the other noise that's already out there. You got to stand out. This is what my man, Mr. Rick, has already told us. In the very beginning, you got to be unique. From the introduction, you got to be unique. Why are you even caring? You got to have all that. So if you're not following along with this, write these things down. I got to wonder what's going on with you, especially if you're running a business. So this is, man, we got to get some sound effects going here. I'll have that for the next show. And I'm glad you put us in this spot, man, because this is good stuff.
Now, I have one more thing actually to add on to what you just said.
Yeah.
When you talk about being sensational, you talk about standing out, being unique, I want you to ask yourself a question. If you're a business owner and you watch this, if you're anybody who watches this later on down the road, ask yourself a question. When you think of pizza, what is the first business you think of?
You asked the wrong person that, because I like 3 different kinds.
What's the first one that came to mind, though?
Oh man, I just had Domino's, so
Perfect. But ask yourself, why did that name stand out first? And the answer is copywriting.
yeah.
Plain and simple.
I won't dare to disagree, even though my taste buds are telling me something different. But that's all right. I mean, I agree. I get what you're saying. Copywriting, like, well, I mean, they have some of the best offers, the best offer ever, right? What, 30 minutes are free?
Yep, 30 minutes are free.
Yeah, and that's copywriting, right? That's
is
an offer.
copywriting. Yep.
That's something that people try to even copy, and they didn't do as well. And Domino's is the one that really stood out just by making that offer, right?
Hey, and for me, I remember as a kid, watching the cartoon commercials with the Noid as I was trying to steal the pizza so they wouldn't get it there 30 minutes or less. That's copywriting.
Yeah. Wow. Now, does copywriting still have is it still as important when you're doing like video and stuff?
Yes, I can say as important. It's important to understand the same strategic steps. One thing with those 5 steps is a lot of the people who are getting into the freelancing and trying to get their first person to work with, their first influencer, their first business. This same 5-step process can be used when you're doing like a video resume. Okay. So if you do like a video resume for the same steps, it's the same concept as doing a video outreach for your business. If you're doing a marketing with a video, same 5 steps can go into the video. Now, the nice thing about a video is you can add more in there because you've got graphics, you got music, you got other people you can pop into it, but the same 5 steps can be implemented and expanded upon.
That's awesome. That's good stuff, man. Daniel, got some other stuff?
I was wondering about how people, order your services, right? You have this website. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Do you just have like a clickable link on there? They can just click that and reach out to you, or is it more of a just contact you and you kind of discuss it on the other end?
There's 2 ways of doing it. First one is I have the strategy session, which is what you're going to pay for consultation. But then I also have a skills and development one. This is just a standard sit down, talk, see where you're at, what you're doing. We can have a conversation. So the first one, let's sit down, see who you are. Book a skills discussion with me. We'll see what it's like. Now, I do have to accept that one because I do have a schedule that I got to work around. So if you try and book a time that's already full, I'll have to let you know. But book a time. Also on the site, you've got my Facebook link, you've got my LinkedIn link, you've got my email link, you even have a phone number you can get a hold of me for. Get a hold of me in any way, shape, or form. As soon as I get a chance to check that, I'll reach out to you. We can set up a time to talk. See if I'm the right guy for you or if I can direct you to the right place.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you this, Jacob. We're going to have you come into one of our many masterminds that we are going to be having with the Impactpreneurs. We hope to launch that as soon as possible, probably as soon as next week. But we'll reach out to you and schedule that. Will we have you come on and share a copywriting, a little mini mastermind, 10 to 15 minutes or so. I know that's a very short time for all the stuff you do, but I think it's a great way to introduce yourself and share some knowledge so people can walk away and even want to say, hey, I need to work with that guy. So if you guys don't already know, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's an expert. He's got some expertise that will help change your business for the better. I don't have any other questions because if I do, we'll be here all night and day. And I'm sure everybody on this podcast has got some things to do. But my man, thank you for coming on and sharing these knowledge bombs that you've shared. We already had an hour's time. If you don't have anything else, Daniel, I don't have anything else. If you want to share anything, last words, Jacob, go ahead and do that and we'll get you closed out.
Sounds good. First off, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure meeting new people and doing that. Bit of a joke here, but I got to love the fact that we're like doing the 3 stages of beards here.
For sure, man. That's awesome, man.
So, but the last thing I want to say, and it's very simple, is thank you for dropping by. Anybody who's watching this, anybody who comes back to watch this, thank you for dropping by. If you have any questions or need any help, please feel free to ask anything, and I'll do my best to help.
Yes, and thank you guys for watching the Frank Hammond Show. It's been another great one, Daniel. Great guest you booked again, man. We're going to have to give you kudos on this again. This is 2 in a row, man. So, hey, guys, come back again. We'll have more guests coming right here on the Frank Hammond Show. Till next time, we'll see you right here on the Frank Hammond Show.
You've been listening to the Frank Hammond Show. Until next time, remember, Michael Jordan was the best player in the world, but didn't win a single championship until he got the right coach. Visit FrankAmmons.com and schedule a game-changing call with Frank himself and watch your business accelerate to the next level.